read that quote.
Well now, if you walk up and down with your umbrella saying tut tut, it looks like rain, I shall do what I can by singing a little cloud song such as a cloud might sing. Welcome, fellow bookworms, to TBR's Den. My name is Whitney, and today I have a couple of different announcements of plans I have for the new year. So I am really excited to make this video. I was waiting on one final piece. It finally came yesterday, and so here we are. Before I get into it, though, let me go ahead and give you the answer to last video's quote. So at the beginning of each video, I do a quote, and then I give you the answer in the next video, and you just have to go down to the comments and leave your guesses of the author, the book, of course, and then if you want a bonus point, you can leave the character that said the quote if there is one. Now, the points don't matter, it is just for fun, but yeah. If you don't want spoilers, go ahead and jump off, check out the last video, which was my reading update for week 2 of November. It's linked down in the description below, and you can come back and get the answer after you check it out. But the quote was, "If I didn't put it where I should, which is more than likely, then surely I would have put it here, which it seems I didn't." And that was from the book Duncton Wood by William Horwood. It's a little bit more of an obscure book, and the character was a mole named Query, and he wasn't a main mole. I just really like the quote because that's kind of my thought process. Well, it belongs here. I didn't put it there, so I would have likely put it here, but it's not there either, so where did I put it? And I just really enjoyed that quote. Definitely head on down to the comments and leave your guesses for today's quote. I think it's pretty obvious, but if you do need hints, there will be a pinned comment, and in the reply section to that pinned comment, there will be hints for you if you need them. But let's go ahead and get into the announcements. So the first thing I am planning on doing next year is a reading journal. I've never done a reading journal before. Didn't even know it was a thing until joining BookTube. And so this is a journal I picked out. It's really cool. It's like corkboard material, which I think is really unique. And it's by the brand Keygood. And I just love all the butterflies and such. And then I also got some stencil rulers that will help me with my designing and such as well. So that's the first plans I have. Probably won't share like how I make the journal, but I will share like the end result and when it's all filled in at the end of the month when I do my wrap ups. So definitely keep an eye on that. The other announcement I have is I'm going to be doing a year-long, what I'm calling a genre-a-thon. Um, because while I don't have like a specific genre that I kind of stick to, like some channels, if you go to their channel, you're going to be hearing about fantasy or romance or whatever the case may be. I do kind of jump around a little bit, but there are definitely some genres that I kind of shy away from or I don't read a whole lot of. And so that's kind of the point of this, is to kind of get out of your comfort zone and push yourself a little bit, because I think you can really miss out on some amazing books if you kind of stick to your lane, which is, there's nothing wrong with sticking to one lane. You know what you enjoy, but I also think you can miss out on some amazing books. I'm not going to announce the prompt for January or the genres for January quite yet. The announcement videos will be around mid-month of the month prior, so January will be sometime around the 15th of December. But I am going to give you a little sneak peek, and I'm going to let you know the first three books I'll be reading for each month. So for January, I went with Divergent Mind, Thriving in a World That Wasn't Designed for You by Jenara Nerenberg. And I'm really excited to read this. I had a couple options I was looking at, and I went with this one because it's more specifically tailored to women. And yeah, I really meant to read some books like this after I got my autism diagnosis and just never got around to it. So I'm hoping that I could really benefit from this. In February, the books aren't here yet. I just ordered them because I had to order uh, Heart of the Sun Warrior by Sue Lynn Tan and The Choice by Nora Roberts, which both came out this month. And so I ordered those and decided to kind of go ahead and look ahead. So for February, I'm going to be reading The Death of Sitting Bear by Ed and Scott Momaday. I'm really excited for that one. Was kind of browsing around. This is a genre that I am really, really weak as far as reading. And then for March, I'm going to be reading the uh, second Black edition of Death Note, which contains volumes 3 and 4. So I read the first one in October, and I'm really, really excited to continue that as well. So definitely keep an eye out if you want to participate. Like I said, the announcements videos will be up mid-month of the month prior. So I'm really, really excited to get into it. Most months have like 2 options, so if you really don't like one genre, you can go with the other one. There is at least 1 month. I'm not sure. I think maybe 2 months where I only did one option, but I still might play around with that a little bit as well. So now let's get into the main purpose of this video. I created my first TBR game, and I am so excited. Those are my favorite videos to watch here on BookTube. I spend the whole first part of the month watching TBR videos, and if there's a game involved, those videos get watched first, and then I kind of trickle down to the ones that don't have games. So I'm really, really excited. Partly inspired by Melissa Renee. I'll leave her channel down below. She has a Pooh Candyland game that she does, and I considered getting Pooh Candyland, and then I came across this. So this is a vintage Winnie the Pooh game, and I was like, yep, I'm getting that one. So I ordered it off eBay. There is one character that is broken and kind of glued back together. Not a problem for me. This is the board. And so I do a close-up of the board. I'll go over the rules first, and then I'll insert the close-up of the board, and I kind of take you around it. But basically, you go around the board until you get to the North Pole up here. So really, really excited to have that. And so there's kind of 2 components to the game. You have the board component, which is going to choose the genres I'm reading, as well as how many books I'm reading. And then we have the honey jar, which is going to have a bunch of different prompts based on Winnie the Pooh, Disney movies, fairy tales, and such. They're not in here yet because I want to go through them with you, and then I'll put them in here. But look at the top of this. Isn't that adorable? And then, of course, you have Hunny written how Pooh spells it, which is so, so cute. Absolutely love this. Very, very happy with that. That's the piece I was waiting on. So let's go ahead and go through the rules, and then I'll insert the close-up of the board, and then we'll go through all the prompts. There are a lot of prompts. My plan is to pull them and then put them in a little baggie, and I won't use them again until I get down where it's pretty low, and I kind of use the last of the prompts. So, but let's go ahead and get into it. So there's 4 different characters. We have Christopher Robin. We have Winnie the Pooh, which is the one that got broken and glued back together. We have Little Piglet, and then we also have Rabbit. So those are the 4 characters. So I'm going to use a random number generator to determine which character I will use to move around the board, and that character will also determine my first book. So Christopher Robin will be number 1, and that is a coming of age or middle grade and younger. Pooh will be number 2, and that's a classic or comfort read. Piglet is number 3, and that's an auto-buy author or reread. And then Rabbit is number 4, which is a free choice because, fun little fact here, is my channel name is actually a rabbit spelled backwards, because my Chinese zodiac sign is a rabbit. So my husband kind of came up with that, and I liked it. And so that's why Rabbit is free choice. So that's the first part of it. Then I will move the character around the board. You pull, basically, there's these colored discs, which you pull, and that determines where you move on the board. And so I move around the board until I either get to the North Pole, which I'll have to pull a red or a blue one to get to the North Pole, or I can cap out at minimum of 17 books, maximum of 21. I did a range just because some months I might have shorter books and can read a little bit more. Some months I might have bigger books and want to read a little bit less. 17 books. I've been averaging like 15 to 17 books a month. Last month I had way more than that. I read over 30 books, which was crazy. Definitely don't want to do that again. And I just like the numbers 17 and 21, so that's why I went with that range. I did do some practice rounds with the board, and the first round was like really bad, which is why I did the cap, because I wasn't even halfway through and I was already at 17 books and got like sent back and such. So I was like, not doing that. The other two rounds, I got about 12 and 13 books each. So that is definitely doable for me in a month, especially depending on the size of the book. And so that's probably what I'll average, but I wanted to go, if I needed to cap out, obviously a little bit more than what I would average if I finished the game and such. So that's that. Um, and then let's see here. And then for each space, I follow the color prompt, which is a genre. And so we have blue is sci fi, yellow is historical fiction, green is fantasy, red is romance, orange is mystery or thriller, purple is any genre. There's not that many purple spaces on the board. So that's just any genre. It's a free choice. And then black doesn't have a genre. I move forward 3 spaces and then use the genre for that color. Now, if I land on a black one and I move forward, I have to also pick 2 prompts from the honey jar. So for each space I land on, I'll pick a prompt from the honey jar, and I have to combine the genre and the honey jar prompt in order to pick a book. But like I said, if I land on a black space, I move forward 3 spaces, use that genre, and then pick 2 prompts. If I can find one book that fulfills the genre and both prompts, I can definitely do that. I think that's going to be really, really difficult. And so most likely I'll have to choose 2 books for that space. There is one black space where it sends you backwards, so that black space, it doesn't count. In that case, I just follow the special prompt to go backwards. But yeah, there's the different colors and such. And let's see here. And so yeah, I pull for the genre and then a prompt from the honey jar, and then I pick a prompt or a book that fits both the genre and the honey jar prompt. If I'm unable to do both, I go with the honey jar prompt. So I need to try to fit the genre, but if for some reason I can't, like the honey jar prompt is just difficult, because some of them are a little bit more difficult, then I just go with the honey jar prompt. Um, and then I already talked about it. If I land a black, move forward 3 spaces and then choose 2 honey jar prompts. If I land on a special space, which you'll see what I'm talking about when I do the close up, then I can ignore the genre prompt and just do the honey jar prompt, unless it's a special space that is for a specific character. So, like, there's some that, Rabbit move forward here or whatever, or Christopher Robin and Pooh can move forward here. And so if it's like a Christopher Robin or Pooh special space and I'm playing Rabbit, then I still have to do the genre. I completely ignore the special space and it doesn't really count. So, and let's see here. And then I did add an extra rule just after I did my last round, and I actually went all the way around the board. At the end of the board, you're pulling disc and you're not necessarily moving forward. So I need to save those discs. They don't really count in that instance. I just save them, put them to the side, pull again until I reach the end of the board. And then at the end, I will count up all the discs that I had that I wasn't able to move forward. And my final book will be based on the number of discs. So, like, when my practice round, I had 6 discs that I wasn't able to move forward. And so I had to choose a book based on the number 6. So it could have 6 in the title, it could have 6 words in the title, it could end in the number 6, it could have been published in June, which is the 6th month, something just to do with 6. And so that's kind of going to help me determine my final book. And that way, those discs have meaning. You're not just pulling and pulling and nothing's happening. But in the moment, they don't count. I just put them to the side until I get a disc where I can move forward again. So that is that. There's not really going to be rewards or punishment. My punishment is, which I've been doing anyway for the most part, is if I don't get a book read, it automatically rolls over to the next month. And so I'm already starting with books to read before I even play the game. As far as a reward, if I decide to do it, I'll kind of collect reward tokens because I'll be doing my game earlier in the month, so I won't know what I have finished yet or what I still have to read. if I'll get it finished and whatnot. So I'll just collect reward tokens, and basically I can ignore one of the honey jar prompts and just use the genre prompt if I have a reward token to use. So I'll come up, I'll create some reward tokens and do that. So those are the rules. Hopefully it all made sense. I'll leave all the rules down in the description below as well in case you want to take a closer look and all the different prompts and such. That way you can take a closer look. But let's go ahead. All right, so here is the board. So we start here, and you can see you have the 4 characters, and then you're gonna just pull your discs and go around the board. These are the special squares I'm talking about. So, like this one, if I land here and I cross, I don't have to use the genre prompt at all. But like this one up here, it's for Christopher Robin or Pooh. So if I'm playing Piglet or Rabbit, I would just ignore that and I would just use that genre prompt for orange. And then you have his party here. Any player next yellow, so that would be a special one. I can ignore the genre. Pooh's Corner. You have to go back to Pooh's Corner. Sit on a bench. You cross a bridge. There's a black one up here where I would have to go back to the bench. So that's the only black one that I wouldn't move forward to, or 3 squares rather. I would go back to the bench instead because it has that special prompt. And again, I would just go from there. So, and then rabbit to next red, Pooh to next red, Christopher Robin to next blue, Piglet to next yellow, and then at the end of the board, it's kind of hard to pull the correct colors and move forward. So those discs I would pull and I would just set to the side and count them up at the end, and then all the way to the North Pole. And so I have to get a red or a blue to make it to the North Pole. So um, that is a close up of the board. But let's go ahead and go through the different honey jar prompts. So now that we've taken a look at the board and everything, let's go ahead and go through the different prompts. So let's start. So these first prompts I'm going to be showing you basically are just extra prompts that, because the prompts that came up were based on either the fairy tale or the movie or the character, whatever the case may be. And so there was other prompts that I wanted to include, but I didn't have a character that kind of fit them. And so I just created them separately. So I have these little bookworms here, which are really cute. I'm trying to move my face here. And so the first one is Earth Element. So I have the different 4 elements. So we have Earth, and then we have Fire. There it goes. And then we have, of course, Water. And we have Air. Come on, focus. There it goes. So we have the 4 elements, and then we also have the 4 seasons. So we have winter, we have autumn, we have summer, and we have spring. So there's those. Then we have Red Once, Need More, and I actually got this prompt from Krys at Krys Corner because I saw they had this prompt and I loved it. So basically, this is an author that you read once and you really want more. So T. Kingfisher or Alex E. Haro are examples of that for me because I've read only 1 book by those authors and I absolutely loved it, and I definitely want to read more. We have sports rep just because I don't read a whole lot of sports books. So, spirit animal inspired. So this one, there's 2 things for this one. I have an oracle deck that has a bunch of different animals, so I could pull from there and then do the prompt based on that animal that I pull, or it can be based on past or present animals that I've had, pets that I've had. So that's kind of where that one is. And then we have loved one picked. So my husband or my mom or grandma, grandpa have zodiac challenge. So basically I would just randomly choose one of the zodiac signs and pick a book based on that. And likewise, we have Chinese New Year, so I would choose, randomly choose one of the Chinese New Year signs and do a book based on that. We have the 90s, so either a book I read as a kid or a show that was in the 90s. It could be published in the 90s, just something 90s related. We have BookTube TBR, pretty self explanatory. I'll just go somebody's TBR video and I will choose a book based on that. Same name or initials. Then we have It's Your Birthday. So just something to do with my birthday. It could be published in my birth month. It could be published in my birth year. Just something that has to do with my birthday. Dual timeline. I do like dual timelines. Reread. An employee or librarian pick. Thought that would be fun. So I could either go to a bookstore and have them pick out a book, or the library and have them pick out a book. And then this is one of my favorite ones. This is Same Book as Last Person. So I love watching like the channels that do like ordering the same food as the last person in front of me. I love those videos, but I can't do them because I have a lot of allergies and I can't have like cheese and such. So I thought this would be fun. I can go into a bookstore and ask them what was the last book they sold, and then I could get that book. I thought that would be a really fun bookish version to do. And then we have favorite or random color. So I did favorite because I don't always have a favorite color, and so if I do, like if I'm feeling a certain color, I will use that. Otherwise, I can just randomize a color. Um, because yeah, I don't always have a favorite color. And then through the ages challenge. So this one is just I'll start probably like 1800s, the 1900s, 1910s, 1920s, and so on and so forth is kind of how I'll do that. Seven sins or virtues. I just added this one because my channel originally started doing creatism and building, speed build videos, and I did create like these seven sisters based on the seven sins and their builds, and then I also did seven brothers based on the seven virtues, and I really, really like that, so I thought that would be kind of fun to include. Number and title is the next one. Then we have Rec by favorite author. And so on Goodreads, you can see kind of what, if you follow that author, you can see what they're reading. And so that's kind of what that's inspired by. Physical TBR. So just any of the books that I have here. I need to create that. I'll do a mug with all the physical books I have, and I'll just pull from that. Then we have two free picks. So there is that. I did two of them just because I always like a good free pick. So now let's go ahead and we'll start with Winnie the Pooh actually. Since they're Winnie the Pooh is the main inspiration behind this game, but I also did different fairy tales and different Disney movies as well. So for each one, so I didn't break all of them down by character. Winnie the Pooh is broken down by character. There's a couple fairy tales like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. I have Goldilocks and the Three Bears, but the rest of them are kind of just like Snow White. I just did Snow White. I didn't do the Seven Dwarfs. Beauty and the Beast. I just did Beauty and the Beast. I didn't separate them. But there's 4 prompts for each one. So for Winnie the Pooh, there's a rumbly in my tummy, and so this one is just kind of a food inspired book. Then we have red or yellow on the cover. We have best friends forever because Pooh is obviously best friends with Christopher Robin and Piglet, so I really like that one. So just like a book that has like a lifelong friendship. Feel good books because Pooh always makes you feel good. So just kind of like a cozy read or a comfort read or something that's just fun and light. Tigger, we got fun, 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 fun. And so this one, again, just a fun read, something that's going to be really easy to get through. Or I can do something with fun in the title, or something that maybe has 3 F's in the title. All these are kind of open to interpretation. So it just kind of depends on what I can find. And then Tigger, I'm the only one. So a book with a single point of view. out of comfort zone because Tigger's always saying he likes stuff and he tries it and decides he doesn't like it. So this could be a book that I don't like, a genre I don't typically read, or a book I'm kind of intimidated by, something like that. And then we have TI So this is going to be an ABC author challenge. So I'll choose a random letter, and then the author's last name has to start with that letter. And then let me flip it around. Then we have Eeyore, who is my favorite character. So you have a gloomy book. So just a book that's kind of sad and depressing. Books like My Dark Vanessa, by Kate Elizabeth Russell, any of the V.C. Andrew books, those will work for that. Then we have Lost and Found because he's always losing his tail. So the character's like searching for something in some way. And then Perseverance, just keep going, because no matter how bad it gets, Eeyore just keeps going. So there's that. And then Mental Health Rep is the last one for Eeyore. Then we have Kanga and Roo. They're together. So we have Kangaroos are from Australia. So either it takes place in Australia or written by an Australian author, something like that. And then childhood, middle grade, or younger, because Roo is a little itty bitty baby. So there's that one. And then in the pouch, close parent child bond. And last, best mom, maternal main. So, and then we have Gopher, who is probably my least favorite character. So in my day, you have historical fiction. Then we have whistles and wheezes, so an alliteration, or it can start with a W or have two W's or something like that. Then we have self-proclaimed expert, so kind of a book with a know-it-all type character. And lastly, we have a second chance trope. So there's that one. Then for rabbit, we have not my garden, so just something that things are being destroyed. So in some way, like probably a war book would work well for this one. Just kind of destruction in some way. Because it's rabbit, we do got another free choice. Then we have autumn harvest, so kind of autumn themed or harvest themed something, or things that you think apple pie, because apple pie makes me think of autumn and harvest. And then why me, a dramedy or like a satire, just something where everything keeps happening to this poor character, and it's nonstop. And then we have owl, so we have bird in title or on cover. Then we have my relatives, a memoir. Then we have I Can Read. So this will be an ABC book challenge. So again, I'll choose a random number, or not number, a random letter, and the book will have to start with that letter. And then when you need info, you go to OWL, so an academic type book. So then we have Heffalumps, and so you have a misunderstood, so a low rated book. Then we have They're Multiplying, so it needs to be part of a series. Childhood fears, so a book that's kind of scary, or horror book, something like that. And then not real, imaginary animals, so dragons, or I don't know, any imaginary animals. Then we have Piglet, so you have underappreciated, so again it could be a low rated book or a book that's not talked about a whole lot. Duncton would work for that one, because I think it's underappreciated. The book was amazing. Then we have a small book, which is less than 250 pages. Then we have Face Your Fears, so again, a book that you're kind of intimidated by, or a genre that kind of scares you a little bit. Pink on cover. Then we have Thumbelina, so you have a forced marriage, because she's almost forced to marry that frog. You have Water Rat. And then we have adoption or child magically gifted. So like I just hauled Snow Child, that would work for this one. And then lastly, we have very small books. So this one is less than 150 pages, because Thumbelina is even smaller than Piglet. So there is that one. Got 3 more piles to get through. So this is the Fox and the Hound. And now some of these do have the same prompt. Like I have several that have dog pick in there. So keep that in mind. Like some of the prompts do repeat a little bit. But you have Unlikely Friends. I love the Fox and the Hound. That movie always makes me cry. Close Animal Human Bond. We have an emotional read because it always makes me cry. And then we have Dog Pick. So there's that one. Lots of focus. Then we have Frozen. So you have Insidious Takeover. So somebody's trying to kind of get in somewhere and kind of take over. Have Talking Animal Sidekick for Sven. Then we have Sister Sister. And we have Frozen or Cold Landscape. Then we have Peter Pan. So we have Pirates or Crocodiles. I cannot speak. And this one, because I really just wanted the crocodiles, but I know it's gonna be hard to find books with crocodiles, and so I added in pirates too. We have mermaids or water creatures. We have YA or younger, and then we have coming of age for this one as well. Then we have Beauty and the Beast, so you have inventor or creator. We have sacrifice on another's behalf. Close paternal relationship. Then we have a Stockholm Syndrome or enemies to lovers. Then we have Hercules, so no damsel in distress, so like a strong female lead. We have Zero to Hero, so somebody who's not much and then ends up turning out to be the hero of the story. We have mythology based and God-like strength, so somebody that's super strong that has like supernatural strength or something like that, like vampires. Then we have Snow White, so we have found family. We have taken in kindness of strangers. We have apple rep. And then, go on. We have the number 7 rep. So 7 in the title or 7 words, whatever. Then we have Puss in Boots. So we have shoe or boot themed, which if the shoe fits by Julie Murphy, I read that recently, would work for that one. Different country, because I think the original fairy tale of Puss in Boots came from Spain, if I remember right. So a different country, a sword element, cat pick. And then we have Hansel and Gretel. So you have brother-sister dynamic. We have husband pick because he likes sweets, so he'll get to pick a book. And then we have sweet candy rep. And then misleading antagonist. Then we have Little Red Riding Hood. So you have innocent / naive protagonist. We have red on cover. We have grandmother figure. And fairy tale retelling. Then we have the Big Bad Wolf. So we have thriller book. We have anti-hero. We have unreliable narrative. And another dog pick. Then we have Goldilocks. So not yours, borrowed book. Keep Trying, second chance author. Female main. And Origin, UK author / setting. Then we have the 3 bears. So you have In the Woods. We have Homey Comfort, a favorite. And Family Centered. And lastly, the 3 bears. So again, the number 3 would need to be represented. Then we have Moana. So you have Mother Nature threat. So it could be like earthquake or tornado or something like that. Then we have Island rep. We have Family expectation. And sailing or voyaging. Then we have Mowgli, so you have Forced to Leave. We have Wolf Rep, Bare Necessities, so just a good time read, or um, you know, a good like lighthearted friend, something like that for that one. That's kind of a blue inspired one, and then Returning Home. Then we have Encanto, so we have Spanish Rep, we have Generational Family, House Prominent, so Gallant would work for that one, and Family Secrets, which also Gallant would work for that one. Then we have Bambi, so you have a murder mystery, poor Bambi. Dear Rep. Then we have spring/summer romance and animal main characters. Then we have Merida from Brave, so you have medieval times. We have no love interest because she's going to win her own hand. And archery or arrow rep. And bear vibes. Then we have Rapunzel, so you have anti-Prince Charming. We have long book, greater than 500 pages. We have healing aspect and evil mother figure. Then we have Lady and the Tramp, so we have another dog pick. We have Stray Animal, Unlikely Love Story, and animal main characters again. Then we have Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather for Aurora, Dream or Coma State, Unknown Family, and Cursed or Bespelled. Then we have Treasure Planet, so we have Search for Treasure. We have Pirates or Ships, Space Theme, and Teen Pro Tag. Then we have The Little Mermaid, so paternal main character, ocean themed, folklore or superstitious, and deal with the devil, which in this case it was deal with the sea witch, but same thing in my mind. Then we have Mulan, so we have Warring Nations, so any political fantasy would probably work well for that one. Asian rep, dragon. I don't do that tongue thing, so just anything with a dragon. And then gender swap. Then we have Pocahontas, so strong ties to nature. We have Native American rap, river or water feature, and peacemaker or diplomat. And then last little stack here, we're almost done. Like I said, I know this video is a long one, but there's a lot to cover, so. All right, so we have Jack and the Beanstalk. So you have Bad Choices. We have Another World. On the Run. And poverty of some sort. So whether that's the main character or like the people are impoverished, whatever the case may be. Then we have Tarzan. So we have Found Mother. We have Seeking Paternal Approval. We have Wrecked or Stranded. So the island of Dr. Moreau would have worked for that one. And then Jungle Explorers. There's that one. Then we have The Princess and the Frog. So you have class bias. We have POC rep. We have restaurant or food rep. In disguise. This works in two ways because nobody recognizes him as a frog and then the other guy is pretending to be him. Then we have Coco, so you have colorful cover. We have underworld rep, musical instrument, and Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead. Then we have Velocity of Atlantis, so you have Grand Adventure. We have Underwater, Mystery Element, and Mythical Cities. Then we have The Lion King, so Betrayed by Family. Jar's getting too full. Lessons Learned. You either learn from it or you run from it. Which brings me to the next one, which is On the Run or Runaway. And Childhood Sweethearts is the last one for that one. Then we have Cinderella, so Inspiring Read. Fairy Godmother. Animal Friends. And Undercover or Disguised. Then we have Anastasia, so you have Family Heirlooms. You have Royal Family. Bartok-like characters, so I love that bat. So this could be either a villain that is just lovable and funny and not truly evil, or it could be a bat, or just something that makes me think Bartok. Then we have Memory Loss. And then we have Lilo and Stitch, so you have alien character. We have YA or middle grade outcast. Then we have neurodiverse rep and sibling raised. That one. Then we have the Hunchback of Notre Dame, so disability rep, persecuted people, church sanctuary, and town outcast. No, didn't really focus. And then lastly, we have Aladdin. So thief or hidden object, sheltered life, and genie or jinn. And lastly, magic carpet. So just some magical transportation. That could be a dragon. That could be teleportation. Just magically able to transport themselves in some way. So that is the jar. They're all in there now. I'm going to have to try to kind of mix them around to get the thing on now, but that should work. And so yeah, that is the jar. It doesn't want to quite go in. There we go. So we got the Pooh and the little prompts. And so obviously I'll kind of mix them around a little bit. And these will be what I pull from. So that is the game. I know this video is very, very long. So if you stuck it through, thank you. And of course, this will always be linked as I go forward. So if you want a refresher on all the different prompts or the rules, you'll always be able to come back to this video. And I am so excited. I can't wait to play my first round and see what I get. And yeah, I'm really, really excited for this. If you have any other prompts that you think I should add, definitely leave them down in the comments below because I'm happy to do so. If you think I forgot any, I'm not really doing like Pixar or anything like that, so that's why there's no Toy Story. But any like just generic prompts that you want me to add, I'm certainly happy to. So leave them down in the comments below. I'm gonna go ahead and leave you guys here. If you think there's any rules I should add or change a little bit, again, let me know. And happy reading, everyone. Bye.